Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aaron Tveit.
See what I did there?
So come fly with me for a bird's eye view. Fly with me for a bird's eye view. I got the world at my command. He's got the world at his command. And I'll be your one-man Disneyland. Your one-man Disneyland. I don't wanna wait for the cops to arrive. I wanna tell my story live and live in color. Tune me in and turn me on. Yes, I'm live and live in color. Blink your eyes and I'll be gone. Yes, I'm live and live in color. Tune me in and turn me on. Yes, I'm live and live in color. Blink your eyes and I'll be gone. Thank you. Wow, guys. Thank you all for coming. What a beautiful room this is here at the Smith Center. I've actually spent a lot of time in Las Vegas. I like to play cards, and so my friends and I have been coming here since I was 21, which was 2 years ago. It was more than that. I've actually seen a show at the Smith Center. A good friend of mine did Kiki Boots here, and I got to see the tour here a few years ago, and I was in love with the space, and I was so excited when I was asked to play here. So thank you guys for coming. It's very interesting, actually. That song was from a musical called Catch Me If You Can that I did just some years ago. You know, it's very kind of surreal to be in Las Vegas performing. I did a show that I did on tour here years ago, but this is the first time I've performed solo. And getting ready to do Catch Me If You Can, Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman, basically in the years that I was working on development of that musical, they sent me so much music from the 60s, and so much of it was kind of performed right here. And so it's kind of amazing to be singing that song here
And we were just talking about a Frank Sinatra album, Live at the Sands, that's a favorite of Brian's. And it's just to follow in that incredible tradition of performers in Las Vegas. I'm just so, so grateful to be here. So thank you guys very much. Another amazing thing about Catch If You Can, it was a true story of Frank Abagnale Jr., who in the early 60s embezzled and forged $2.5 million in cash and posed as an airline pilot and a lawyer and a doctor. And you know, that sounds like not the nicest thing, but getting to know Frank during the show, he would talk about how he got the real shot of the American dream, and that was a second chance in his life, and he paid every single cent back. But the thing about Frank was he's a dreamer, and he lived his dreams every day, and I think that lends itself to great music, and specifically great theater music. So hopefully tonight we're going to touch on some things about some dreamers that like to dream through song. And this next song, I think, is exactly that. I've never been a man who lived an office life. I've never been a man behind a desk. I've always been a man who said staying still was playing dead, the kind that's looking forward to the challenges ahead. People say that's irresponsible. People tell me stay at home, but I'm not made for things like mowing lawns and apron strings. I'm my best when not at rest. So I'll fight the dragons and I'll storm the castle and I'll win a battle or two. Then comes the day, it's time, I'm packing up and I am bringing all my stories home to you. All I can see is miles ahead with miles to go. All I can feel is wind and sun and sky. Stop for a coffee, make a friend, and pray the day will never end. 'Cause there's one more adventure waiting round another bend, where I fight the dragons and I storm the castle till I win what needs to be won. And the feeling comes like 50,000 drums all banging, bring my story home to you. And I wonder as I wander on the road from door to door, exactly what you think of where I've been. Did you know I joined the circus, met a mermaid for a war? Did you know I think of you through thick and thin? Because even though I'm making deals and bringing people joy, I'm usually only thinking of my boy. Out there on the road I pray that you'll come to me one day and say let's fight the dragons and let's storm the castle till we win what needs to be won. So when I'm old and tired, you'll do the job required. You'll be there telling stories to your son, where I fight the dragons and I storm the castle and I do the best that I can. 'Cause everybody knows that's how each story goes, to turn each boy into a bigger man. So I'll fight the dragons till you can. Thank you. That song is from a musical called Big Fish, and It's based on a Tim Burton movie from the early 2000s, and I went to see that movie on a date when I was in college. And if you don't know the movie, it's about a father's fractured relationship with his son, and by the end they kind of come together, and his dad is the streamer and the storyteller, and the son's always had a problem with it, and realizes the worth of his dad's life. And I ugly cried. Like really bad, like snot, sobbing. I had no idea that was going to happen in the film, and needless to say, I didn't get a second date with her. So, but here I am singing the song. So heck with her, right? Yeah, sure. It's always had a special place in my heart because I think about my dad and my parents a lot when I sing that song, and they've always encouraged me to go after my dreams, and even as crazy as they sounded when I was younger, they never held me back or guarded me for that, so I'm very grateful for them. I got to do a musical a few years ago that had a lot to do with families and kind of a very tough family element in a show called Next to Normal. Brian and I actually both worked on Next to Normal. Brian was the music director for the tour, and so he and I were on a history with the show, and actually our producer, David Stone, put us together. I was looking to do my first concerts years ago, and I asked David at lunch one day who he would suggest, and he suggested Brian. And
all those years ago.
All those years ago. Now here we are in Vegas, so this has just been great. So this next song is from Next to Normal, and it's very near and dear to both of us.
There was a time when I flew higher. Was a time a wild boy running free would be me. Now I see her feel the fire. Now I know she needs me there to share. I'm nowhere. All these blank and tranquil years, seems they've dried up all my tears. And while she runs free and fast, seems my wild days are past. I miss the mountain. I miss the dizzy heights, all the manic magic days, and the dark depressing nights. I miss the mountains. I miss the highs and lows, all the climbing, all the falling, all the while the wild wind blows, stinging you with snow and soaking you with rain. I miss the mountains. I miss the pain. Mountains make you crazy. Here it's safe and sound. My mind is somewhere hazy. My feet are on the ground. Everything is balanced here and on an even keel. Everything is perfect. Nothing's real. Time where the air is clear.
had the great pleasure every night. A lot of that show I spent, it was a 3-level house of a set, and because I was, spoiler alert, I was the figment of my mom's imagination, I spent a lot of that show on stage around other people while they were singing and, you know, in their scenes. And one of the great things was I got to be on stage listening and kind of feeling Alice Ripley sing that every night. And it was a really special thing to be a part of. This past summer, I've been working on a new musical called Moulin Rouge. Boston to see the show? You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming to Boston and for coming to Las Vegas. And you guys even suffered all the Red Sox fans in Boston. That's very nice of you.
Yes!
What's that? Go Yankees.
Go Yankees!
I was actually insufferable in Boston. The crew guys, every day I would talk shit to them constantly. But it was actually really good in the beginning because the Yankees and the Red Sox were really close, and then all of a sudden the Red Sox had like a 10-game lead over the Yankees. But I still kept talking shit. So in Moulin Rouge, I play Christian, who is a songwriter. And the way that the show works, it deals with pop music, but it uses pop music, I think, in a very good way to tell this story. And so here's another little spoiler. So in the show, when I'm right off the boat, I'm fresh from America, a fresh-faced American composer. And I stumbled upon these two kind of fantastic gentlemen who are singing a really bad version of this song, which I correct for them by saying, "The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years." And they love it. As if I'd written the song in The Sound of Music, which is, you know, fine. So they're very, very interested immediately. And Toulouse-Lautrec comes up to me and says, "Tell me now immediately, why have you come to Paris?" In which I answer, "I don't want to wait for my life to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be?" Which is funny because it was the theme song to Dawson's Creek. Yeah, that's why it's funny, because it's a joke. It's a joke, yeah. And then Santiago, the other character, comes up to me and he says, "Have you ever written a love song?" And I say, "With every breath I take." And then Toulouse wants to hear one immediately, and so I say, "Never gonna give you up." Which, right, is funny. Except the problem is, for 2 months in rehearsal, every day I told our creative team that I didn't think Rick Astley was funny. So I'd like to say formally, in front of all of you and Brian and the skyline of Las Vegas, that I was wrong and that Rick Astley is funny. Especially because in the music video he goes, "Never gonna give you up," for about 3.5 minutes. So I was wrong, and the thing that I said to them was, "Guys, listen, before that I sang Every Breath You Take, and in my opinion, it's one of the greatest songs ever written." And fun fact, it was on the Billboard Top 100 charts in 1983, which was my birth year. Do you know, I know that because there's a bar in New Orleans that, it's a piano bar, and if you put $20 in a jar, the guy will play songs from any year that you say. And so I put 1983, and he started playing that, and then of course I wanted to hear the Thriller album, which, you know, Thriller, and then I got into an argument with this guy in New Orleans because he said, "No, actually that came out in 1982, but it was a Billboard hit in 1983, and I fully got into an argument with this piano. But he did sing Every Breath You Take, and despite me being wrong about Moulin Rouge, I'd like to sing that for you right now. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching. Every single day, every word you say, actually take all that back. They should have let me sing that in the show. Yeah, I'll put that in my notes to them for Broadway. They're definitely going to tell me to shut up. But it's fine. I have a wonderful relationship with our creative team. I say a million things and they say no to all of them. Because they're way smarter than me. So another moment in the show that I think the show does a really good job using pop music to tell the story. And there's a moment where I'm in the club of Moulin Rouge for the first time, and I'm kind of thrust into a situation where I meet Satine, played by the incredible Karen Olivo. And I think it's a moment where every night I could kind of hear the audience recognizing the song and knowing what was happening in the story. And then there's this one lyric where, I would sing, "This woman is my destiny," and I could literally feel the audience go. It's because she is his destiny. I could feel that. Like 2,000 people like this. So that's this song.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me.
See, she's my destiny. It's really good.
Of the night, the chemical, physical, kryptonite, helpless to the base and the fading light. Oh, we were bound to get together, bound to get together. She took my arm, I don't know how it happened. We took the floor and she said, oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, ooh, shut up and dance with me.
This next part isn't in the show, but I like the lyrics a lot, so I'm gonna sing it.
A backless dress and some beat-up sneaks. My discotheque, Juliet, teenage dream. I felt it in my chest when she looked at me. I knew we were born to get together, born to get together. Deep in her eyes, I think I see my future. I realize this is my last chance. She took my arm, I don't know how it happened. We took the floor and she said, oh, won't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me. Yes. So that's just that's just like a little snippet of songs from
Oh, thanks. That's just a couple of little snippets from Moulin Rouge. So, you guys have to come see it, on Broadway one day. I don't know when yet, but it's going to be soon, hopefully next year. So please, if you're in New York, or maybe it'll be on tour or in Vegas or something, please come see Moulin Rouge. It's going to be really, really special, I think. Another great thing this past year is I got to see Bruce Springsteen live in concert on Broadway. I was very blessed. He's been doing a one-man show on Broadway, and it's I was very struck because it was so kind of simple, similar to this. It's just him on stage, and he has a guitar, or he sits behind the piano, and he kind of just tells stories about his life and how each song influenced his life, and vice versa, and how he wrote each song. And it was amazing for me to see, kind of amidst getting to do work like this. And he told a couple stories that really resonated with me. One of which is, he basically said in his illustrious career, he just really feels like he's kind of pulled off the greatest magic trick of all time. And at first I was like, I didn't know what that meant. And then he just said, you know, he was just a guy that started out loving to play music, and somehow he's gone on to have this incredible career, and that he's kind of tricked everyone, that he's, you know, worth everything that he's done, which I was like, well, of course you are. But another part of me, you know, I grew up kind of doing theater and singing as a fun thing, and I kind of stumbled into working when I was in college, and for a long time, I still feel that way. I kind of can't believe that I left college in 2004 to work, and I've been able to work since, and it still kind of blows my mind that I've been able to do that, and then now stand in front of you guys and kind of share this evening with you. So I really understood what he was talking about, to a very small degree. You know what I mean? It's like fucking, excuse me. Here I'm like, I get it. I resonated. Meanwhile, he's playing 4-hour sets in the Guinness Book of World Records in Sweden, so it's like, relax, you know what I mean? But anyway, he sang this song, and for the first time, I kind of really heard the lyrics in such a stripped-down version, and then we kind of both fell in love with this Chris Cornell version of it. So here's kind of our version of Chris Cornell's version of the Springsteen song. It's telephone, you know?
The screen door slams, and Mary's dress away. Like a vision, she dances across the porch while the radio plays. Roy Orbison singing for the lonely. Ooh, hey, that's me, and I want you home. Don't turn me home again. I just can't face myself alone again. Don't wanna run back inside, you know just what I'm here for. So you're scared and you're thinking that maybe we ain't that young anymore. Show a little faith, there's magic in the night. You ain't a beauty, but you're alright. And that's alright with me. You can hide beneath the covers and study your pain. Make crosses from your lover's roses in the rain. Waste your summer praying in vain for a savior to rise from these streets. Well, I'm no hero that's understood, or redemption I can offer girls beneath this dirty hood, with a chance to make it good somehow. But what else can we do now except roll down the window and let the wind blow back your hair? Well, the night's busted open, these two lanes can take us anywhere. We got one last chance to make it real, to trade on the wings for some wheels. Climbing down, heaven's waiting down on the drive. Oh, come take my hand, ride out tonight to Cakes, the promised land. Oh, Thunder Road, oh, Thunder Road. I'm lying out there like a killer in the sun. approach to my front seat. The door's open, but the ride ain't free. And I know you're longing for words I ain't spoke. But tonight we'll be free. All the promises will be broken. They were ghosts in the eyes of all the boys you sent away. They haunt this dusty beach road in skeleton frames and burned out Chevrolets. Scream your name at night in the street. Their graduation gown lies in rags at their feet. Men alone be cool before dawn. You hear their engines roaring on. When we get to the porch, they're gone on the wind. So Mary Clyde, it's a town full of losers. I'm pulling out of here to win. Another thing that night that Bruce,
Your buddy, Bruce. First name basis, yeah. No, that's fine.
yeah, me and Bruce, man.
Not being ironic.
Actually, I got to go to a dinner, a very fancy dinner. The people at Vogue magazine, Vogue, they throw a really nice dinner for the Broadway season, and they kind of bring people from each show. It's a really special thing, and I got to go. Even though I wasn't in this Broadway season, they invited us for Moulin Rouge, which was very fancy.
Very
nice.
fancy.
It's very
Very
fancy. But Bruce Springsteen was there. Yeah, and so, you know, we're in like a house dinner party that was probably the size of this stage with these tables, and I was probably from me to you to Bruce Springsteen, and I couldn't focus on anyone that was talking to me or the dinner. I just sat there like this. I was like, what do you think Bruce is doing? Do you think he's eating that? Do you think he likes it? Does he eat? What does he do? He can't be human. He doesn't need to eat or drink water. Does he? Probably just like lives on motor oil or something. So, I don't know.
It's kind of Jersey-ish.
It's a little Jersey, yeah.
Motor oil.
But another thing that he said the night of his show that really struck me is he talked about being 19 years old and just starting out with his band, and he had no money, he had no prospects, he had no future, but they were going on tour the first time, and he talked about a visceral moment of being on the flatbed of a truck as they were moving out of his town, and just thinking, he was the happiest he could ever imagine being in his entire life. And I remember that I was going to school, and then kind of through a very crazy set of circumstances, found myself in Pittsburgh, New York, rehearsing for the national tour of Rent. Oh, this is the original key, cool. Every single day I walk down the street, I hear people say, baby, so sweet. Ever since puberty, everybody stares at me. Boys, girls, I can't help it, baby. So be kind, don't lose your mind, and remember that I'm your baby. So I didn't play that part of the show. do a couple years ago. Gavin Creel and I sang that at. We had a lot of fun doing that, but I think I want to play Maureen and Rent. I think I just had an opinion.
Things are different now.
I know.
Why don't you try it? Give us a good idea.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, just see what happens.
Every single day, I hear people say, babies.
She's amazing.
When I meet the wizard.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
I mean, I know.
Oh God, here we go. This song, I used to sit in my dressing room at Wicked and try to warm up with the alphabet. That's how crazy I am. When I meet the wizard, once I prove my worth, and when I meet the wizard, what I've waited for since birth. It's a little high. It was good. You know, I didn't play alphabet, I played Fierro. So, anyway.
That was a diversion.
That one, yeah, we kind of know. The trouble with school is, they always try. Is that the right key?
It actually kind of.
Is it? Oh man, I'm good. You know what my favorite part about Wicked was?
What's your favorite part about Wicked?
For those of you who don't know, Brian is the music director of Wicked on Broadway, so he gets to hear this 8 times a week, so he's real happy with me right now. So Fierro comes out, right, and he rides out on a cart, because he's like the Winky Prince, and he's being driven to his boarding school, and he's literally, I would play like I was asleep and hungover in the back, right? And he gets out, and the cart almost hits Elphaba, and she's very upset. She's like, yo, you have to watch out where you're going, somebody's gonna get hurt. And he kind of wakes up, he looks at her, and I think this is a great line. He says, maybe the driver saw green and thought it meant go.
Worst line ever.
I had so much fun saying that every day. That's good. Well, I'm just remembering this right now. Thanks, you guys. This has been great. But anyway, so I found myself in the national tour of Rent, and I was covering Roger and Mark, and I had just seen the show on Broadway probably 2 years prior to this, and it was a moment where, for the first time, I saw how pop and rock music could combine with theater, and these two things that kind of I had, you know, a little bit of interest in theater and a lot of interest in this, how they kind of shot together, and that propelled my interest in theater in an incredible way. And so this is one of the songs that I got to sing very often in the show. One song, glory, one song before I go, glory, one song to leave behind, fine, one song, one last refrain, glory, from the pretty boy front man, who wasted opportunity, one song, yeah, the world at his feet, glory, in the eyes of a young girl, fine, glory, beyond the cheap colored lights, one song before the sun sets, glory, on another empty life, time flies, time dies, glory, one blaze of glory, one blaze of glory, glory. So Rent, if you're not familiar, is, sorry, did I ruin that? It's based on a Puccini opera called La Boheme, and in Rent, after Roger kind of sings that song, lamenting his station in life and cursing his plight kind of to the world and to God, and something amazing happens. A young woman knocks on his door, and her name is Mimi, and she wants him to light her candle because she's cold. It's a very simple thing, and the scene that plays out is kind of a very fun duet back and forth with them. But in the Puccini opera, this exact scene basically plays out verbatim. It's a different song, it's not Light My Candle, but Rodolfo says some incredible things, and I'm going to read you the English translation, if you bear with me. See if it sounds familiar if you know Rent. He says, "What a frozen little hand, let it be warmed. What's the use of searching? In the dark, it's not to be found. But fortunately, it's a moonlit night. And here we have the moon close by." And he goes on to tell her in a few words that he's an artist and has the artistic soul, and asks who she is. And then he drops this line on her at the end, which I've never said anything like this to a woman before in my life, but I think I may steal this from Mr. Puccini. He says, "From time to time, two thieves, beautiful eyes, rob all the jewels from my coffer. They came in with you just now, and my usual dreams, my beautiful dreams, all at once disappeared." Could you imagine someone saying that to you? And he meant it. It sounds much, much more beautiful in Italian too, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Che gelida marina, se la lasci riscaldar, cercar che giova, al buio non vi trova. Ma per fortuna in una notte di luna e qui la luna l'abbiamo vicina. Aspetti signorina, le dirò con due parole chi son, chi son. Che faccio come vivo, chi son poeta, e che cosa faccio, e come vivo, in povertà mia alleta, sciano da gran signore, remedili d'amore, per sogni e per chimere, e per castelli in aria, l'anamo milionaria. Talora il mio potere, ruban tutto i gioielli, e quelli là di occhio belli, entrare no matter how many times I sing that song, it scares the shit out of me. I started my collegiate educational career experience. Is it collegiate career?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a basketball player in college. I just
Collegiate career, yeah.
But my collegiate career started. I was actually a music major. I was a music student. I grew up singing classical voice, and I went to Ithaca College as a music major because I didn't really know that you could go to school for theater. It just wasn't something that I knew. So I spent a lot of time singing classical voice, and so that's a big throwback for me. I haven't really sang in Italian in probably 17 years, so I'm sure I eviscerated it. I apologize if anyone in here either speaks Italian or is a musician who's familiar, so I apologize for that. I also got to, in high school, I started taking voice lessons right around when I was doing this show in high school, and I never got to do it professionally. I did this New Year's Eve get to sing an evening of Leonard Bernstein with the New York Philharmonic to celebrate his 100th birthday this year. Hey, happy birthday, Len, you know? It would have been 100. So that was an incredible evening to hear the New York Philharmonic play his amazing music, and I got to do it with good friends of mine, Annalie Ashford and Laura Osnes and Christopher Jackson. We had an amazing evening, and I think that besides the songs that we got to sing, the most incredible part of that night was, and we all stood in the wings what's the hall? It was David Geffen Hall.
Now it's David.
Now it's David Geffen.
It used to be Avery Fisher.
Avery Fisher,
Yeah.
right. Okay, David Geffen Hall. He paid a lot of money to have his name on it, so I'm not sure I got it right. We stood in the wings and listened to the New York Philharmonic play The Dance at the Gym from West Side Story, and we were literally in tears listening to that music, and this has always been one of my absolute favorite songs, and I was so honored to sing it that night, and I'm thrilled to sing it tonight. The most beautiful sound I ever heard, Maria, 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 Maria. All the beautiful sounds of the world in a single word, Maria, 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 Maria. I've just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly that name will never be the same to me. Maria, I've just kissed a girl named Maria, and suddenly I found how wonderful a sound can be. Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. Maria, 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 Maria. Say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard, together, I guess in 2013,
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our 5.
It's our silver.
It's our silver, man.
Yeah.
This is our 5 year. So congrats to us.
We can pass the first 4.
I know. It's like smooth sailing.
Yeah,
right. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna be good. So come to the 10th and the 25th. So we started working together. I was putting together kind of my first concert I ever did, and it was in a place called 54 Below in New York City. And I did a very ridiculous thing, as you can imagine. The first show, a good buddy of mine, Norbert Leo Butts, had performed there. This was very early in the club's life, and he'd performed there a couple weeks before. We kind of were doing shows. Ooh, there's something. I have such a problem not fixing that if I see it. It's probably why I say stupid things when I'm standing here, because my brain just goes, do that. And actually, it's probably why I did this with the song with Norbert. So Norbert had just performed a couple weeks prior, and I was having a good night, and I was feeling good, and we were cooking on stage. And I said, I'm gonna sing this song tonight, and it's from the last 5 years. My buddy Norbert sang it, and I'm gonna do it better than him. And then I forgot the words 3 times. So, this is a lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Karma will get you. Karma will get you. So I'm going to try to do it now, but I will not do it better than Norbert. My first crush on an Irish girl, I was 10 years old, and her name was Elaine. Redhead girl, well, she looked like you, but if you were 10, which you are clearly not that you look old, but you get I'll just stop now. Okay, wait, cause I had a point, no, I swear I did, well, I think I did, which is all my life, or since I was 10, I have had a yen for an Irish lass. Because God knows why, like the ancient curse of the sheiks and queens, do I talk too much? Which is not to say that I want Elaine, who turned out to be, when I last checked in, a Republican and a parapsychologist. If you've got a 4-leaf clover, you can make my dreams come true. I will be your Hebrew slave, just do the things that Irish girls do. We'll talk about potato famine. I begin to cry on cue. Sing about the Emerald Isle and get ready to chase the smiling. I could be in love with someone like you. Oh, okay. I don't say love a lot. It's cool. Great. I just left a relationship with a lovely girl named Alyssa Levine. She was really great, it was all my fault. I just got upset cause she slept with my brother. So I made a vow not to get caught up in the dating scene, with a whole routine, with a cousin's friend, or who knows what. Like I need that shit, I got marks to make, I got steps to climb. It's the perfect time, I got books to write, I got things to do. I go out my door and bump into you, and the jig is up and my vow is through. I don't know what I'm doing, but come in and ruin me. Write my own Ulysses. If you're gonna show me how, take me back to Glockamora, bathe me in the river Shannon now. If you'll be Mrs. O'Leary, maybe I will be your cow. I'll deliver shamrocks daily by a pile of shillelagh. I could be in love with someone like you. Be my inspiration and get me past this block. Walk me through the great unknown. You could be my true salvation. Unchain me from this rock and keep me from being alone. 'Cause I'm no good at being alone. Take me to another level. Let me play in bigger halls. I will do a river dance as long as you keep answering my calls. Get me out of my apartment, keep me from my empty walls. Summer and I are John McCormick, start the wearing of the green. Let me win the Irish sweepstakes, let me take you home, Kathleen. I could be in love with someone, I could be in love with someone, I could be in love with someone. not as good as Norbert. So the other amazing thing that Brian and I have kind of gotten to do is we get to play some shows like this where it's a little more intimate, he and I, and we've also played some kind of like some rock shows, like a rock band, and I try to live my rock star dreams that, you know, are so inappropriate for me to be doing. But no, we have a lot of fun, and we kind of get to walk through a lot of different genres of music, and sometimes we think that songs could work in both arenas, and this is a bit of a new one for us. And for people that were at the pre-show Hootenanny Shandig meet and greet, this is the song that would have been my guilty pleasure in its original version, not my version. This would be terrible. The original version by the amazing artist Robyn.
Somebody said you got a new friend. Does he love you better than I can? There's a big black sky over my town. I know where you're at, I bet he's around. Yeah, I know it's stupid, but I just gotta see it for myself. I'm in the corner, watching you kiss him. Oh, now I'm right over here, why can't you see me? Oh, now I'm giving it my all, I'm not the guy you're taking home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. I'm just gonna dance all night. I'm all messed up, so out of line. Stilettos and broken my toes. I'm spinning around in circles. I'm in the corner, watching you kiss him. Oh, I'm right over here, why can't you see me? Oh, now I'm giving it my all, but I'm not the guy you're taking home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. So far away, but still so near. The lights come up, the music dies, but you don't see me standing here. I just came in to say goodbye. I'm in the corner, watching you kiss her. Oh, now I'm giving it my all. I'm not the guy you're taking home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. So far away, still so near. Lights come up, the music dies, but you don't see me standing here.
So we have a couple more for you. So a few years ago, I had the pleasure of doing a very well-known musical live on television. And it was kind of the most exhilarating, terrifying, exhausting 3 hours of my life. I mean, we did the show on TV, and what you didn't see behind the scenes was, for instance, after Grease Lightning, I had to get unsweaty, sprint 2 stages over at Warner Brothers, change, and then walk into the diner scene as if nothing happened. So it was an amazing night while we were doing Grease Live. This next song I got to sing during Grease. It was really fun, but it's also, what we're gonna do is very indicative of me working with Brian and how amazing a collaborator and artist he is, because this next song was 100% his idea, and he took this kind of very fun song that we were doing from Grease and combined it with a song that you guys may know and made it sound like they never were meant to be without each other. So, enjoy. Stranded at the drive-in, branded a fool. What will they say Monday at school? Sandy, can't you see I'm in misery? We made a start, now we're apart. There's nothing left for me. Love has flown all alone. I sit and wonder why you left me. Oh, Sandy. I fell in love with you, heart and soul, the way a fool would do, madly, because you held me tight and stole a kiss in the night. Heart and soul, I long to be adored, lost control, and tumbled overboard gladly. That magic night we kissed, there in the moonmist. Oh, but your lips were thrilling, much too thrilling. Never before mine so strangely feeling. Now I see what one embrace can do. Just look at me. It's got me loving you madly. That magic night we kissed, held on my heart and soul. Sandy, my darling, you hurt me real bad. You know it's true. But baby, you gotta believe me when I say I'm helpless without you. Heart and soul, I fell in love with you. Heart and soul, the way a fool would do madly, because you held me tight and stole a kiss in the night. And now I see what one embrace can do. Just look at me. It's got me loving you madly. That little kiss you stole, held on my heart and soul. Why? Oh, Sandy. And how about Brian for that arrangement? So, again, let me just say how grateful I am to be able to share this evening with you in Vegas, where I just know so much history goes with a show like this, and I'm very thrilled to be here. And thank you to the Smith Center for having me. We have one more for you. It's It's a musical that I love. I got to do this last summer, and I had a wonderful time doing it, and hopefully I'd love to do it again, so if anyone wants to do company anytime in the near future, please call me. But yeah, this is from Company.
Bobby, baby, Bobby, Ruby, Robbie, Robert, darling, Bobby, we've been trying to call you. Angel, I've got something to tell you. Bobby, we've been trying to reach you all day. The kids
Stop! What do you get? Someone to hold you too close. Someone to hurt you too deep. Someone to sit in your chair to ruin your sleep.
That's true, but there's more than that. Is that all you think there is to it? You've got so many reasons for not being with someone, but Robert, you haven't got one good reason for being alone. You're onto something, Bobby. You're onto something.
Someone to need you too much. Someone to know you too well. Someone to pull you up short, to push you through hell.
Hey, buddy, don't be afraid it won't be perfect. The only thing to be afraid of is that it won't be. Don't stop now. Keep going.
Someone you have to let in. Someone whose feelings you spare. Someone who, like it or not, will want you to share a little, a lot.
Robert, how do you know so much about it when you've never been there? It's much better living at it than looking at it, Robert. Add 'em up, buddy. Add 'em up.
Someone to crowd you with love. Someone to force you to care. Someone to make you come through, who'll always be there, as frightened as you of being alive. Being alive. Being alive. Being alive.
Blow out the candles, Robert, and make a wish. Want something. Want something.
Somebody hold me too close. Somebody hurt me too deep. Somebody sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive. Being alive. Somebody need me too much. Somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Make me alive. Make me alive. Make me confused. Look me with praise. Let me be used. Bury my day for alone. Yes, alone. Not alive. Somebody crowd me with love. Somebody force me to care. Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive. Being alive. Being alive. figured I should sing this song too. Never knew I could feel like this, like I'd never seen the sky before. I want to vanish inside your kiss. Every day I love you more and more. Listen to my heart, can you hear it sing? Telling me to give you everything. Seasons may change, winter to spring, but I love you until the end of time. Then there's no mountain too high, no river too wide. Sing out this song and I'll be there by your side. Storm clouds may gather and stars may collide, but I love you until the end of time. Come